One, two, three, four, action. G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Zeta toys, Whirlblade, aka their Vortex. I don't know why, but the name just will not stick in my head. I need to think Whirlwind and Wind, or actually even better, I just need to think Windblade except Whirlblade. So hopefully I can actually get that to remember what it was. So here he is. Here is Vortex, and he's kibbly. He is very, very kibbly. So where Brawl and Swindle were very bulky and yes, had a bit of kibble, Vortex, I want to say, even excluding Blastoff, has the most kibble. Like, it's all over his legs, his forearms. He hasn't got much of forearms. In saying that, he hasn't got much of biceps, but in saying that, even looking at Brawl and Swindle in the distance, they don't have much biceps either. But I think I've mentioned it before, these guys are really for combine mode, maybe vehicle mode. They're not really designed for robot mode. If you want some robot mode display pieces, you're better off looking at some other figures. I admit I'm looking at those Magic Square upsizes. I don't know. I'm still deciding. So here we go. So yeah, here is Whirlblade / Vortex. And I will start by saying, yes, he's missing two of his rotor blades. These two busted, just like when Brawl's crutch plate broke, Vortex's blades broke. Now I do have the plastic that goes on here so they can be pinned back in. But I've tried my normal glue, and I've tried that plastic glue that I keep seeing in like craft builds that you put it on, you shine the light, and it heaves. It doesn't work for me, so I just gave up on that. So yeah, he does look good. All things considered, he does look really good, and he's very he will stand, because I didn't realize this until I started before I did the review. He's got heels. I've had mine pushed up here, which is where it goes during transformation. I didn't realize that was actually his heel spurs until now. So the things you learn. There is some parts in this that do not want to plug in. It could be just my figure. But yeah, like for instance, my shins don't want to plug in. These sometimes plug in. So it's iffy at best. So there we go. But he does look pretty good, all things considered. I love that head. I really, 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 really do love that head. The shiny red visor. These parts are supposed to tab into, but they just went. And the funny thing is, I had them plugged in during combine mode. But yeah, they just will not do that. As for accessories, apart from his gun and his bombs, which I'll get into afterwards, we do have our instructions, which actually has one part that I actually want to show later on. And of course, he does have his card. If I can get that to focus. He has his card, and look on the backpack. Oh, the back of, I should say, not backpack. So there we go. The only other accessory is his combine mode hand that comes with Onslaught. So it doesn't come with these do not come with their combined pieces. All that came with Onslaught. But there is something I have to point out when we get him into combined mode. So there we go. So we can do articulation. We'll just take his gun out of his hand. It looks like it's got pegs, but it just slides into the handle, into the hand. So head can do a full 360. Which has just got enough clearance where the combiner peg is. Goes side to side, goes a little bit up, a little bit down. It's not a ball peg, so you can move that around. Arms can technically do a full 360, but you're going to start hitting backpack. So these pieces get in the way, and there's no real way to get around that. These can be aimed how you want them to, but it's not going to help that much. So the shoulder comes out here, but because of the transformation joint, it can get all the way up to there. He has barely a bicep up the top there. It feels like there's one down below, but it's not there. It's just seems to be the way that it's, I think it actually does, I think it's how it's situated in the forearm. But yeah, you only have the upper bicep there. You have an elbow joint, if I can even get it into a decent position, gets you that far. I suppose you could try lifting that up, which gets you a little bit more, but you're starting to have to fiddle with things at that point. You have typewriter fingers with one pin. You have wrist rotation, no in and out or anything. Thumb does not move. You have, and mine's a little bit cockeyed at the moment, you have two, technically you have a chest and a waist swivel. So you have chest there, and you have waist there. You do also have a side, one side, because that's your elbow for combined mode. So you can do that at least one way. Legs, you can get your side skirts up, sort of. I'm going to take that off because it keeps falling out. I really do need to get some nail polish and put that on. So you get leg that far. You get leg that far, but you start running into propellers and etc. Leg goes out that far. It's got a ratchet there, not forward and back, just there. You have an upper thigh rotation. This is always awkward. So actually, I might do this, bringing his foot forward just to make it a little bit easier. So, and it's also very difficult finding places you can put your hands. He has a ratcheted knee. So there's the top of his thigh. So it gets you about 90. You have ankle tilt, even though you're brushing against things. You do have a rotation. That's more for transformation. You have toe up. You have nowhere back because you start hitting pieces. Heel moves up. You can bring it in about that far. I suppose if you really, really want to for some reason. The wheel does come out more for helicopter mode. But yeah, if you want to use that as an added heel, I suppose you could try it, but I'm not going to go that far. And as with everything, their A stance is really weird. Because you have, like I said, you have ratchets going that way, which means you can't get that space just in between. So if you just want a slight A stance, it doesn't work. So there we go. Right, let's get down to transformation. Now, I'm just trying to think. Which mode do we want to do first? Because it doesn't really matter. We're basically having to fold a whole lot of things. I think we'll go to combine mode first because I want to say about half of the transformation is done. And then we'll get into helicopter mode. I keep going to say jet, and I don't know why. All right, so we'll start with helicopter mode first. So we're going to just lift the arms up so I can get under here. You want to unpeg the backpack. You have 2 pegs, and I'll show you better when we get back into the other mode. You want to pull up the head a little bit and sort of head up a little bit and reach just your nail in there to flip this down, and then we can put our head back. And with that bit of room there, we can bring this forward, and we want to bring this all the way out, like so. So we're basically giving him a bizarre sort of looking shockwave head. I'm just trying to think, do we want to get that? We will need to get the backpack done first. Do we? Yeah, we will. So we want to rotate the backpack. And what we're going to do, and this is going to be very awkward, this is going to be a lot of folding and camera movement. For now, we're going to bring this up, and we're going to fold this all out. So it folds in itself, so it goes this away and then that away. We can bring all this up for now. Oh, my ankles are doing weird things. We're going to have to unplug that again anyway, aren't we? So I'm just going to turn these around, and I'm just going to lower this just to keep it where it is, because we're going to need all that anyway, but we'll get the top half done first. All right, so we're going to rotate our arms around and bring them straight out and bring out these purple pieces. Same on the other side, rotate down. Now for the hands, it's easier to do in robot mode, not so much in plain mode or combined mode. Get your nail in just in where the hand is and pull back. That will untab this plug from that port. By the way, there's that bottom bicep that I said was there that doesn't actually move. So we can rotate our hand up. Stand, man, stand. Oh, that's why, because my heels have moved. Then what we want to do is we want to bring this out, and you have sort of these two tracks. So this has to stay where it is. Bring that in, rotate that around so it sits like this. So the red's pointing you. Then what we want to do is bring the hand up, bring this back, and that same tab right there is going to plug into the exact same spot. Right? And we want that just nice and straight so we can do the other side. So I'll do a little bit faster. Fold all that out. Whoops. He doesn't have trouble standing. It's just a little bit awkward sometimes. So fold out. Bring that through. Bring that in. Bring that up. Bring that down. And tab. All right. So let's get his shoulders into place. Now you have these two pegs that I mentioned before are going to go into these two here. Now we're only going to do one for starters because we just need one in place. So we'll do this one. And what we can do is get this. So we can fold this piece out. This tab's going to go into this port. Like so. It's on a double, so just feel with it until you get right where you want it. Right, now we're going to do this backpack. So I'm just going to drop the propellers for now, just to give me a little bit more clearance. And you have these tabs are going to go into some grooves on the hand. So it's going to slide up, and then these pegs, see if I can show you. See if I can find it. So this is for robot mode. This is for jet plane and combined mode. So if we get those up, and I haven't got the other one properly in, and compress that as much as we can, and then all we're going to do is get those all lined up like so. There we go. And now we can put the other one in place. This is the point also where you can flip these around if you want. I'm going to put it this way because it does clear out the elbow a little bit more, but I'll do that after I get this one in place. So same thing. These are going to plug in the side here. This one is going to plug into there. This one's going to plug into there. And there's one in here that's going to plug into here. So bring that all up. Line things up. Make sure that tab's in nice and firmly. Fold this out. Once again, this tab is going to go into this port. Careful that double hinge. And I'm not quite feeling go click. So it's not quite lining up. Come on. Might not be just quite high enough. 1 second. All right, so for whatever reason, my tab wasn't quite lined up properly. So just give everything a squeeze. I'm going to keep these up here. Now I'm going to bring my propeller down again, just the tip, just so I can capture. Let's bring that up. So I can capture those blades. So that way they're not going to go anywhere. Now that is partly how they tell you to do the arm, but we'll get back to that in a minute. All right, so we can drop the camera down again. Oop, that was a bit of a quick drop. I apologize for that. And now we're going to do the bottom. So this is where all the complexity comes in. Let the camera up a little bit more so I can actually see what I'm recording. So this is where most of the complexity comes in. Vortex and Blast Off have the most complexity, honestly. The others are pretty tame by comparison. All right, so we're going to untab this one. We're going to flip this out, and it'll unpeg if it's not unpegged already. You're going to lift up this piece. We're going to slide these both up, and we want to rotate this. Oh, we want to spin it first. And we just sort of want to rotate it a little bit. We don't want to go all the way because we need more room. So this is going to untab. Right now it's tabbed into a couple of places. There we go. So this tabs into here, and this tabs into the back of the knee. That's what holds your knee in place. So what you want to do is you want to bring this around. So all that's reasonably flat for now, and bring that down. And we'll do the same on the other side just to get it where we want it. So rotate, bring that down, lift that up, unpeg that, pull that out, move that out of the way, and we want to flip that up and that down. Right. My right knee has a little issue getting back, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So you have this tab here, which needs to get past this one. So you have to make sure it sort of goes over the top and it combiner wars down. One of these days, that's going to have no meaning because nobody will remember combiner wars eventually. Not as a bad thing, but just because we'll have some other combiner thing that does it. Now, it's supposed to tab in there. That is probably going to untab while I'm doing other things. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Hopefully things are not in the way. So untab, get that over the top, bring that in and tab in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold these up for now. And actually, let's do this. So this is now going to fold down on top like it was. And these will stay where they are. So that'll tab back in. Do the same on the other side. And that will tab back in. So now that's sort of capturing the legs, but not really. These are going to fold around. So they now sit like they're going to go into robot mode. And then what we can do is we can tab all that together. So just find all your tabs and stuff and just try to, oops, what's in the way? There we go. Now with these, you have these two, you have a port and a tab. Now you would think, well, I'll just fold this out, then that'll sit inside. It doesn't really work. So you just need to line them up together so that they will eventually sit in together and give them a squeeze. Now you might notice my legs are a bit movie because of those knees. So if you really, really, really want to, you can always go in there and try to lock it in a little bit better than what I've done it. Actually, I might do that because it looks really funny. So I tried having a look and fiddling it a little bit, and there's nothing really that keeps it from moving. Like all this would be held in place with the other tabs for the rest of the arm, but it is unfortunately what it is. So of course these can be tabbed back in where they were, because otherwise we're going to hinder our articulation. And that's pretty much it. We can flip these around a little bit. We want this way. I don't know why they're so far apart. I don't know. We'll just bring them down here. So there is your arm mode. Now I do have what's left of my propellers spread out, and I have this extended. Let's try better ways to do this. So I usually have this extended and whatnot. Now, the one thing I do have to point out is his hand. Now, Vortex is, of course, Bruticus's left hand. So this is his hand. Like I said, this comes with their onslaught, but you can of course make them either left or right. The thing is, the hands will only fit to a specific one. So if you get all these sort of bumps here and nothing on the sides, that's blast-offs. Actually, you know what? I lie. You can't have them either side, because even if you switch that around, it's still left-handed. So yeah, you might. Oh, I don't even think you can get away with Brawl or Swindle either. Anyway, so this is Vortex's hand. So you have a nubbin here, a big old nubbin here, and here. So all you got to do is gently split the legs, and you have this groove in here, and I'll put the light on. So you have this nubbin here, this nubbin here. So as long as those nubbins line up, that will fill in the gap in front of the nose of the helicopter. And then just a matter of lining things up and squeezing them together. And of course, there he is with his hand. Now, for those of you who watch the other two, Daethstro, you didn't show the connection points for Swindle or for Brawl. Trust me, if I showed them off, it ain't coming off. They are very, very secure. So there we go. I will articulate this how I have it in my usual display, but yeah, this is basically it. And of course, you have the articulation stuff there. Right, so let's get this into helicopter mode. So we're going to split that up. A good portion of this is done, but we are going to have to untab some things to get certain things where else we want it. So I'm just going to plug that back together, because we need all that where it was. And we'll just plug that together for now. Now we are going to have to, I have also tried putting this under the side skirts and they don't really help. So we are going to have to unplug the rear end of the helicopter. So what we're going to do is we can get those propellers out of the way, because they're just going to be hindrance. And we're going to undo some stuff. So we'll do one side and then we'll go the other. So we'll just do this right side and just untab that for the most part. If we can get around it, oh, hang on, no, we're going to have to actually get the whole side unplugged. So just get all that out. And I think I'm going to actually have to unplug the other one to get this where I want it. Will I? Let's see if I can get around it. All right, so we need to bend this combiner peg in. I highly recommend that you go at it with a screwdriver and loosen things. So we just want it straight, like so. Now this, no, we are going to have to do that, because what I need to do is bend this back, and it's going to go under here. So I'll just get a little bit of things not in the way. Yeah, I'm going to have to unpeg that. And now someone walking past. All right, I think they've gone past. Anyway, so while they were doing that, this is how you basically want it. Now, I was going to pop this back in place, but then I would be hindering something else. So you do need to unplug that and lift it back. And these propellers is going to be something you're going to be fight with. You're going to untab this. You're going to rotate this. And you're going to spin it around like so. Do the same on the other side. Spin that around. Spin that. And we're going to tab those together. They do tab in very tight, so just be aware of that. And then we can put that back where it was. So plug that back in the top. And then we can put things back where they were. So as long as everything is where they're supposed to be, we can get one side lined back up. Come on. All right, what's in the way? Maybe I don't think I've got that. No, I haven't got that down far enough. One more click. Or can I get it down one? Because that is hidden at the top of it. I'm trying to remember, because I'm pretty sure this just sits in there. I don't think I can get it another click. Hang on. So I was partly wrong. I thought this filled out more. So the purple's going to sit into here, and then you have that. All right. So we'll try to get that back in place, because now we should have enough clearance. All right, then we can bring that up and try to fight the propellers. So we'll drop that again, although that's probably going to get in my way a little bit. And of course, line things up. Make sure things are clicking where they're supposed to. There we go. Oops. Like that. Bring this one up. And my propeller's in the way. Oh, my arm's transforming. Put that in there. That all collapsed. I apologize. You can't really see this. Bring that down. Make sure all that tabs in. Give it a squeeze. And there we go. But yeah, I was sure that the helicopter filled that out more. All right, so this is going to get a little bit more awkward. So I probably should have done another step before I plug that in, now that I think of it. Because what's going to happen is this is going to go underneath. So I probably should have done that first. Ah, shit. I knew there was going to be something I forgot. I don't think I can get that under without it. All right, hang on. Okay, so I've unplugged all that. All you're basically doing is flipping this up and pushing them back and under, like so. And that's going to go and sit like that. So it's going to sit over the top of here. So then I can bring that propeller down and on both sides. There we go. That will tab into, whoops, I just moved this waste, which I didn't want to do. We'll might have to fix the top of the helicopter up after I've got everything else in place. So there is that. So that keeps that where it's supposed to go. Okay, I go where I want it. I'm going to pull these propellers back once again to get them out of the way. Now you might have a bit of a gap like this. Just push back and we might be able to, there we go, click that in place. So those legs are now not going to move at all. So it's got this and it's got this all holding it. All right, so we will do under here next. So we're going to pull these out. Now we're going to unflip these. So fold up, and same with the other side. Fold up and fold up. This is going to have to go first, then this one. So this is going to swing around, and these tabs here are going to go into these slots. So there. They don't really tab into these. So it's not these holding them in place. So that wraps around there. It sits together. And now if you give that a little push, it's now this tab just in here that's holding these together. Then we can bring these back. And I'm not quite sure what tabs into where. I think it's these two port tabs tab into underneath the underarm. So line things up, get things past. If you need to, take the weapon off if you haven't already, and plug things into place. That's one. And plug that into place. Oops, just separated that. There we go. Just give those another squeeze. Like so. And we're almost done. We can bring this down. Just be careful because it is a little bit tight on those side struts. Like so. You might want to untab things, so just be careful. Then what you want to do is fold this out, just sort of straighten them up. Squeeze if you need to. flip all this up and just gradually, give or take, push these back into that hole as best you can. You may not get it perfect. You know, if you want to be pedantic and perfect, go ahead to do that. I'm just no good with that. You can pull this out. I'm not going to, because it usually requires me to bring out a pair of pliers. I've tried tweezers and I just cannot get the grip on it. And it's funny because even the instructions don't even show that really extended. We're almost done. We can get our landing gear out, hopefully. I'll try using one of my screwdrivers. So, come on. How about you? Come on. You know what? I really need a toothpick or something. Actually, I'll use this. And if anyone who's interested in the comments can see if they can guess whose weapon this is and who I might end up doing a review for. These ones are a little bit easier. Just grab one of the struts and pull forward. We are almost done. You can flare out your propellers, providing you all have all yours. And of course, you can fold this back. And there is Vortex in his helicopter mode. He looks an amazing helicopter. I won't lie, they all look amazing vehicles. The robot modes are iffy at best. Propeller can well, although I'm sure Vortex won't get very far off the ground. Oh, almost forgot. I only just had it in my hand too. We can put that one back where it is. I need to put some nail polish on it to actually get it a bit tighter. Back propeller does spin. I think I actually screwed that on. I think that actually came. I'm sure that came separate, and these come all separate, and you just put them together. It does roll, although one of my struts just went on me. So there is that. So there we go. Now I did see a hole on the bottom when I was doing it, and I haven't checked this, but there's a hole here, and no, that does not fit. I thought that might hold the gun, but it doesn't quite peg in. So there is that. All right, let's do size comparison. Here he is with Windblade. As you can see, he's pretty damn huge by comparison to Windblade. So there we go. Right, home stretch. Time to get him back. Oh, by the way, these bombs. Thank you, motorbike person. Spring loaded. You have this button here, and bang. As far as I know, he's the only one that has spring loaded gimmick. So then it's of course a matter of trying to get that all plugged in. Now I don't usually have that on mine, so take that for what it's worth. But that just plugs back in here, and you can't get to the button really from there. Well, you can, but not really. All right, let's get back into robot mode. So I'm just going to compress these, take that off, and I'm just going to bring my propeller, my back end down just to get out of the way. We're going to fold all our wheels back, get them back inside, like so. And we'll start with the front here. So this folds down. We can bring these forward and flat, like so. We will fold these back up, and we have ports and tabs. So I will say they do get stiff once they tab back in. So there is a lot of secure stuff in this, at least. So get that up, like so. All right, we're going to get these out first. So just get your nail or something in there and pop and bring it down. They can just tab in for now if things aren't in the way, which they are, so they're not tabbing in anywhere. Again, pop this one out, bring that one down, come around this side. And of course, we can pop these open, fold this one down, fold this one down, fold this one down, this one down. We're going to need the arms partly done so we can get this out of the way. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to lift the propeller a little bit, the back one. Sometimes I think I need like something bigger than my phone. So I'm just move this a little bit out of the way so we've got a bit of clearance. And I'm going to separate that. I'm going to pop up this. I'm just going to fold that up, tab that in, fold that in. Same on this side. Pop that up, tab that in, fold that in. And you need to get these two untabbed. So just do one at a time if you can. So that's 1 and 2, like so. Leave them where they are. Now, if it hasn't done it already, untab that and pull your... Easier said than done. Once again, trying to find places to put your hands. Might have to get a tool. I'll try this. So I'm just trying to get it in the groove underneath the peg. There we go. Just pop that out. So get all that out, and we'll do something with this backpack just to give us a bit more clearance. So get that up there, bring that there just to lock that sort of in place. Separate this, which is very secure. I was going to get another screwdriver. Oh, I don't even know where I put my toolbox. I don't like using my knives, but hopefully I won't shear anything off. I just need something thin. Come on. I can't even get that in there. Where are we? Can I use that? God, all these tools I have on my side table, and I can't find any that's just thin enough to put in there. I don't even know where I put my toolbox. Give me a second. All right, so I've got a couple of tools. So I just need something decent enough to separate it without busting anything. Because I don't even think my part separator would work. There we go. All right, so we want that up. Bring that out. If everything is far enough back, bring that around, bring that back. You have this tab is going to go into that port, and I'm also going to turn this way, so these rockets are going to point upwards. And I'll do the same on the other side. Bring that in, turn that around, and just going to tab that in place, so at least our backpack is dealt with, like so. All right, we'll leave the rest of the top half for now. Things are a bit wobbly, but I need to get access to here. So fold this back, fold this back, and like I said, we still got the wibble, so it's only these to hold it really in place. I'm just going to press those down. Make sure these stay separated, and very carefully wiggle until we have our legs separated. So then we're going to bring this around halfway. We can then untab the back here, so we free our leg. And then we have the next difficult part. So we need to get this past here, but it can be very difficult to get it out of the groove. There we go, that's got one. Like, I can't quite tell where it tabs in. Honestly, I can't quite tell where it tabs in. We want to fold this black piece because it's going to go into the back of the knee. So bring this back, it's going to tab into the exact same spot. And there's our knee in place. We'll deal with the foot in a minute. And we want to bring this out, untab that. Oops, I didn't get my cockpit out of the way. Come here. My hand's locking things into places. Fold that back. try to get this out. Once again, it's being stubborn. Come on. It's a combination of getting things where you want it and trying to find some place to put your hand. Oh, come on. Come on, there we go. I am concerned about those tabs, but after these reviews, once again, nobody's going to be in jet mode, in vehicle mode for the most part. Everything will be locked in where it's supposed to be. All right, so we can angle that where it's supposed to be. Once again, tab goes into this port. That locks in the back of the knee, which I completely missed. Try that again. I think I got it. Yep, I got it. Right. So then, of course, that flattens out. We can bring the feet down and rotate. And the green bits should fit behind these panels. I'm looking at this all from weird angles. I really am. Flip out his heels. Like so. We'll bring his legs together. Whoop, it's a bit wonky there. And of course these come in. They're supposed to tab in. They won't. Just articulate your heels as you need to and try to tab those in as best you can. And then we can get back to the upper body. So bring this up a bit. All right. So let's get that backpack situated. So what we're going to do is, because that's not going to sit on that, is it? No. All right. So as you can see, that'll actually trigger your head too. What we're going to do is I'm just going to bring out the combiner peg a little bit. We're going to straighten that as if we're putting it in combine mode. And then we can flatten that down. Like so, and that flips back, and like I said, it'll flip your head up. So plug that into place. We take our backpack, and it's going to come down, sort of. And I think I pointed out before, I used to like a little bit. It's going to go into this port here on both sides. So just position that. Where are you? Oops, my backpack's upside down. Thought I forgot to do something. So you need to rotate it first. Then you can tab it in. So I've got these around the wrong way. At least wrong way up for me. Alright, so then that'll line up to those second ports. Like I said, it's just a matter of finding places to put things. As for the tail, what you want to do is this port's going to go in here, but there is another, where are you? Sort of, there's a thing in here, so that'll let you bend. So it'll bend down and then tab up. And things are probably going to untab a little bit. I've just really pushed that in, so that's going to be fun getting back out. So like so. And of course, you can splay your wings how you want. You can have what was his name? I can't think of the name of the first Decepticon in the Bayverse films. Blackout. You can have very blackoutish. All right, so almost done. We can fix our arms up, and then we can do our final size comparisons. Now, once again, I would try to get it into here and pop it. Pop it up, I should say. Don't try to put too much force on that. It potentially could break. So flip our hand out. This is going to flip around once again, and then this is going to come in. That's going to peg into here. And then we close it up using the same tab. We rotate our shoulder. We can just bring down those purple bits. They won't lock in, so there is that. Same on the other side. Well, that one was easier. So separate that, fold that down, fold that around, and bring it in. Whoops, my heels are not sitting where they're supposed to. And bring that in, and tab. Bring that around, bring those down a little bit, bring our shoulder down. And there is Vortex back in his robot mode. And like I said, he's a lot more complicated because of what he needs to do and what he is. The helicopter mode requires a lot of kibble to be stored places. Swindle has all his kibble on his shoulders because all it's got to do is hide the windscreen and the roof. Brawl doesn't really have to hide anything because he's a tank. But Vortex has to hide where all your panels is for the sides of the helicopter and stuff. So we can arm him up, give him his gun back. So there we go. So let's do final size comparisons. Here he is with MP10. So if we go by backpack, he's about up to Prime's collar. Head-wise, he's about up to his windscreens. Here he is with Make Toys Howling. They're Meteor, because it's not Howling Meteor, it's just Meteor. Their cartoon Starscream. There we go. And I'm just going to need to pause this for a second. And there he is with Zeta Toys Racket, aka Swindle, Uproar, aka Brawl. And I will point out that I'm actually starting to like this gun more if you take the missiles off, because this is how Swindle's gun's supposed to be portrayed, not on the arm. But it just looks really stupid with those missiles attached to the back. So they are looking amazing. And once again, if you go by the top of the head, the legs are just a little bit taller. But if you go by the backpack, the only reason Brawl's bigger is because of his cannon. So there we go. So that's 3 Combaticons down, 2 to go. So I hope you're enjoying this series so far, because it's hot. And yeah, I just wanted you to have something even more to enjoy. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. And apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.